Hey look, it's the black version of Supergirl. Oh, now she's the black version of Rose. Wait, what's that? Is she the black version of Sailor or... No, that's the piece from Kill la Kill. So she's the black Ryuko Moon Sailor... What? Exactly. Stop. She's just Supergirl. She's just Rose. And however you want to combine Ryuko and Sailor Moon's name. Today we look at the rising star that is Jasmine, A.K.A. CutiepieSensei. Jasmine James, A.K.A. CutiepieSensei, is a cosplayer from Marietta, Georgia, where she lives with her husband, Vincent James. She was born on June 27th. While she is a world-renowned cosplayer, she only cosplays part-time. Her main occupation is that of a concept artist within the video game industry. She currently works at Hi-Res Studios, where she develops concept art for the video game Paladins. As a cosplayer, Jasmine is best known for her mashup designs, which she conceptualizes and develops from scratch. While her cosplay of Widowmaker was her first truly promoted and recognized cosplay, her first cosplay experience goes back to 2013 when she dressed as Korra from the Nickelodeon cartoon The Legend of Korra. Jasmine was first introduced to the world of cosplay by her husband, then boyfriend, Vincent. Knowing how much Jasmine was into video games and manga, he invited her to go to Anime Weekend Atlanta. Jasmine was unfortunately sick and couldn't attend, but Vincent brought her back some souvenirs. The geeky paraphernalia he returned with excited Jasmine to attend the next convention once she felt better. The next year, the couple would attend the MomoCon, a convention held in Atlanta, Georgia, every year. They happened upon the convention while walking around the Georgia Tech campus. Prior to attending this con, Jasmine had no idea that people would congregate in such large numbers to such events to celebrate geek culture. She was immediately turned on to and hooked by the idea of attending conventions. She also was introduced to the world of cosplay. Outside of Halloween, she had no idea that people would take advantage of such events to dress up and to do so year-round. She was excited to try her hand at cosplaying and created her first cosplay of Korra. After this, she created her Widowmaker cosplay from Overwatch in 2015. While creating this ambitious cosplay, she realized she may have bitten off more than she could chew, struggling to finish the costume and gun prop due to inexperience. Still, she persevered and finished the cosplay that would go on to be one of her first major and recognizable works. Although difficult, she appreciated the experience for what it was, feeling that she learned much from it, and nothing she would create from that point on would feel as hard. She wore her Widowmaker cosplay to DragonCon 2015, where it was well received. She also wore it to Anime Weekend that year and began to share the costume online. After this, Jasmine would complete her Supergirl cosplay. She ended up doing a tutorial and then a professional photo shoot for this cosplay that would bring the budding cosplayer much attention. But all the attention wasn't positive, as she started to experience not only negative, but racist comments in reaction to her cosplay. The racist and negative comments became so abundant that Jasmine felt the need to address them on an Instagram post, stating to all that the goal of her cosplay was not to attempt to be the black version of Supergirl, but to just be Supergirl. This is the reason for the blonde wig and blue contacts. She is attempting to represent the character as accurately as possible, regardless of her ethnicity. With a trio of high-quality costumes, Jasmine started to complete more professional shoots, attend more cons, and gain even more attention on social media. In 2016, Vincent gives Jasmine the idea of doing a mashup cosplay. Jasmine leaps at the idea and begins to create a design. She begins sketching out ideas and decided on a Sailor Moon Kill la Kill mashup. She takes the costume of Sailor Moon and the costume of the character Ryuko from Kill la Kill and conjures a design where both characters are equally recognizable. After weeks of conceptual design, sewing, and crafting, the results are a phenomenally unique and creative cosplay where both characters are immediately identifiable. This style of cosplay will go on to become Jasmine's signature. Jasmine pulls off her mashup designs and truly all her cosplays by leaning on her already tempered skills as a concept artist. She takes a very methodic approach, first researching the characters she wants to portray. She picks the pieces of their costume that makes them unique. She then sketches concepts for the new combined costume focusing on striking a balance between the parts of each character's costume that are most recognizable. After deciding on a design, Jasmine begins to decide what material will be needed to create the costume. She then spends about 2 weeks on average creating the costume itself. The results speak for themselves, and she is consistently successful. Jasmine would continue to experience success as a cosplayer, setting up a Patreon, completing more high-quality costumes, photo shoots, grow her social media presence, and collaborate with other cosplayers and sponsors. She would also be a featured cosplayer for Sci-Fi Wire and the Instagram page Cosplay and Comics. Jasmine, being an African American woman, found cosplaying challenging due to discrimination evolving around sexism and primarily racism. Since there is a less amount of compelling characters that match her ethnicity, there are less opportunities for her to do canon-accurate cosplays than her white and Asian counterparts. She describes many onlookers as seeing her as black first when judging her cosplays. As aforementioned with her Supergirl cosplay, many would refer to her as the black version of whatever character she is portraying, which she finds frustrating. Jasmine wants to be seen as the character first. Jasmine calls out the all too prevalent negative parts of the cosplay community, such as gatekeeping and elitism. Many people of color, not just those who are African American, deal with an uneven amount of criticism over accuracy. Many have their work minimalized or are questioned as to why they would portray a character outside of their race, disregarding their passion for the character and the hard work put into portraying them. Jasmine implores the cosplay community to be as accepting as it thinks it is. She reminds that many came into cosplay and geek culture as a whole because they were rejected or misunderstood by the outside surrounding culture. It makes little sense and is understandably frustrating to her for many within our geek culture, so to speak, to mirror those abusive behaviors in what is supposed to be a safe and fun space for those otherwise outcasted. Cosplay is for everyone. Jasmine does her part to ensure this by keeping her social media positive and lighthearted, encouraging all to cosplay, especially those within the African American community. Jasmine said early on that our eyes were open to how her cosplaying was an inspiration to those discouraged and afraid to do so as well. To see someone that looks like themselves successfully cosplay gave them courage to do it too. This point of inclusiveness was explained by no other than Marvel when they tapped Jasmine as CutiepieSensei to create a cosplay depicting their character, Captain Marvel. This was for an episode of Marvel Becoming, a YouTube series where cosplayers are invited to cosplay famous Marvel characters and show their journey in becoming this character. The episode featuring Jasmine was a special episode showing 3 diverse female cosplayers becoming Captain Marvel, emphasizing that anyone can be her, anyone can be a superhero. This privilege of being sponsored by Marvel was a marked achievement for Jasmine as a cosplayer in whole. This was her most challenging costume she created to that point. Creating something this screen accurate was a first for her. Later, she was invited to the premiere of Avengers Endgame in costume, where she was able to meet with the cast of this historic film. As 2020 would roll in, we would see the onset of the COVID-19 virus and the resulting pandemic. As the United States began to reopen after most of the country was in lockdown due to the pandemic, we began to see new reports of racial discrimination against African Americans surface. A particularly disturbing report of a video depicting the killing of an innocent African American male, George Floyd, at the hands of police sparked a reaction of universal outrage not only in the US, but across the globe. Much of the injustice and inequality Jasmine has seen in her life as an African American were now being brought to the forefront of world culture. Jasmine, in response, wrote an eloquent post on social media, featuring her brilliant cosplay of Shuri as Black Panther, where she expressed her frustration and exhaustion over the challenges to her existence as a Black woman in this world. Jasmine, CutiepieSensei, continues to support the Black community as she always has, bringing attention to the ongoing discrimination and injustice we experience. In this post-George Floyd landscape, she directs her followers to different ways they can support the Black community. Despite the current pandemic, Jasmine continues to be active within the cosplay community. She recently participated as a judge in the Wacom cosplay contest. Jasmine also completed a cosplay of a Silver Age Wonder Woman as part of a promotion with DC Comics and Rock Love Jewelry. She created the costume after Rock Love Jewelry asked her to help them promote their line of Wonder Woman-inspired jewelry. While the future is unclear for most of us due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, Jasmine plans to continue to cosplay and looks forward to attending cons in the next year. Jasmine, CutiepieSensei, is a sensational artist, both on and off the page. She is genuine, kind, funny, a bit shy, but is not afraid to speak up in the face of injustice. Like the characters she depicts, she is a hero to many. CutiepieSensei will continue to wow us with her talents, and we will be in the front row to witness this spectacle of beauty.